Boom. You looking for this?
All right, so first movie up on the docket is Iron Man
classic.
1. It is
Pure
a classic.
Pure nostalgia with this movie.
Yes, truly. What position, S through D, do you think that Iron Man 1 deserves?
I think at the very lowest it to be, just based on it's the first one.
It is the first one.
And
there was nothing really bad about it. Good actors, good writing. A little bit of a low moment, but I think the whole plot point of this egotistic billionaire, transforms into this hero who we won't see his full transformation until we're done in Avengers Endgame. I think it really sets up the entire scope of the MCU well. It opens it up with Iron Man and ends it with Iron Man. So I think it does deserve a good B.
Good B. We can move it around.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Next up on the docket is Hulk.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, this has actually been a while since I've seen it.
And, it's a pretty good movie overall.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I can agree. I had that post-credit scene with Iron Man, and I actually didn't even know they were linked for a while until I saw that post-credit scene. For me, I'd probably give it a C just because it seems kind of irrelevant. It not is irrelevant, but just
it's a different actor and stuff.
And kind of like Rhodey, Terrence Howard. But anyway,
yeah, but this is the main character.
Yeah, this is the main character. Norton Hulk is a fat C in my opinion. Iron Man 2. Ugh. It does have my favorite suit ever in an Iron Man, my favorite Iron Man suit ever. Mark 5 is beautiful, but the suitcase suit.
Yeah, out of the Iron Man movies, it's my least favorite.
Oh, 100%. It did have Elon Musk in it, though.
Almost forgot about that.
Yeah, I know.
The real life Iron Man.
Yeah. I don't know. Just it kind of felt boring.
I'd say either low C or D. Really.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of my two least favorite movies.
Yeah.
That and The Dark World. But
The Dark World's next. He's the next victim.
We can D for now.
Yeah, I think we keep it at D for now until we decide. Thor: The Dark World. This one was a doozy. All over the place.
This is the regular Thor.
Oh, this is the regular Thor?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. We'll cut that up later. The regular Thor, I actually really enjoy this movie. I didn't like it at first whenever I first watched it, but upon rewatching it, I really like the story of it. I think it's kind of along the lines of Iron Man a little bit. The same story.
B tier, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a good B tier movie. CGI was good. I loved Loki in that movie and the Warriors. I think it was the Warriors 3 at that time. I didn't know if they had the fourth one, but I think Thor deserves a good B.
Good B tier.
Captain America: The First Avenger. Me and you both agree in the fact that all of Captain America's movies are he's probably got the best
series besides the Avengers.
Yeah, he's got the best series of
solo
movies.
series.
Yeah,
and old Civil War is kind of.
It's Avengers 2.5, but
all of his movies hit, in my opinion.
Yeah, oh for sure. And I think this one, I love the story, I love the actors. I think it deserves
the timeline. That's what I.
Yeah, the timeline. It is a cool. Yeah, something. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And what do you say? The thing?
I'd say either A or high B above those two.
Yeah, I would give it. So if we move to high B, then we would just move it right there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a high B. All right, so here comes the granddaddy of them all, really.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, the first Avengers.
Actually, I don't know. There is now that I think about it.
What?
It's either the top two, one of. I'd say it's either high A or lower S.
This is the introduction to the Earth's mightiest heroes in the MCU.
You pretty much have to go S.
Yeah, this is an S tier movie. They did not. Joss Whedon, despite his failures on other movies, did not drop the ball on the first Avengers. I think this is a easy S tier. If there was an S plus, I'd put it in S plus tier. It is a great movie.
Yeah, it's hard to beat.
It was the first team up movie superhero wise that I think ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it handled it very well too.
And we had built up with our
with all
three B tiers, and I guess Hulk.
Yeah.
In his movie.
Well, I guess people count that one. I don't know. I didn't count it, but it is an MCU movie, so it's got to be on the list. Nah, this one's definitely up there. I love what the final battle and how it sets up Thanos and everything. So yeah, I think it's a good S tier, easy S tier. So now we have Iron Man 3. I liked Iron Man 3.
I liked it too. I was pretty high on it at first.
It was more of a personal story for Iron Man than anything. You know, confronting the sins of his past for being, you know, an egotistical jerk. But I did like what they did with this movie. I love the final scene with all the Iron Man honors and House Party Protocol. I think.
I'd say probably B for me personally.
Yeah, I think B tier.
And I'd say above
fair.
Thor perhaps, maybe just because of the nostalgia.
Yeah.
Of the first Iron Man, I wouldn't.
I remember going to see this one right after the Avengers in theaters. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Kind of didn't know what was going on at the time, but I do now. So next we have
There's the doozy.
This one is the doozy.
We all know where that one's going.
If there was an F- tier, we'd give.
I don't think it's that bad.
It really isn't that bad.
But compared to every other Marvel movie, pretty much, it's just.
Yeah. It just didn't have the best writing. It didn't have the best.
The expectations are so high with Marvel movies, MCU movies.
It just failed to meet it. And the writing, I think, is what lost me on this. I wasn't really interested in the story. The whole Dark Elves. I mean, what they did with the Ether and everything, and the Reality Stone as well.
There's some important things.
Yeah, but just the story in general with the Dark Elves, I wasn't into it. So I'm gonna give it a D tier, and it's below Iron Man 2. Next we have Captain America: Winter Soldier. Now this one, critics and most fans alike regard this one as the objectively
the best movie in MCU.
I don't know why I forgot the word. Objectively the best MCU movie.
A lot of people would put this first on their S tier, but I don't know. I'm kind of feeling a strong A.
I think it's got an A too. See, for me, it comes down to like movies I can rewatch, like rewatch appeal. Like they have to be good movies. In order for me to rewatch them, they have to be good movies. And this one's one that I can rewatch, but it's not like on the same rewatch appeal as Avengers is for me. But it is a fantastic movie, great writing, great actors, great CGI.
Really good movie.
Yeah, for sure. And it played an important part too in the MCU as a whole.
And the Falcon Winter Soldier show.
Yeah.
So there's huge plot lines that came from that movie. We didn't yet know Bucky was still alive before that.
Oh no, none of us did. Alright, so next we got Guardians of the Galaxy. Now this one is probably the most, it has the most Easter eggs of any Marvel movie in it.
It's fantastic. James Gunn, dude. He just planted things everywhere.
Yeah, it was a great movie. I love what they did with Chris Pratt as Star-Lord. I did love that. The story was good too. Yondu in that movie was also Dance Off to Save the Universe. There's so many good things about this movie.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I would say A tier.
Yeah.
A tier, perhaps below.
I don't know. It did a lot of things different for Marvel.
And it was our first movie really that it was in space really.
Yeah, it did a lot of
everything else
things
was
different.
Earth based.
Yeah, I think it did a lot of things differently that puts it above.
Oh, except for Thor.
Yeah, that's true.
But this took us to multiple different places.
Yeah, this was a different type of
multiple different places and nowhere.
Yeah, it took us to nowhere. The head of a severed celestial. All right, so I think it deserves above Captain America. To me, it did a lot of things different, but it did a lot of things well. Better than, not necessarily better than, but just more appealing and interesting.
And like we said, I just love what James Gunn did with it.
Yeah.
You can tell he's a big Marvel fan.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why his movies are always so well written, popular. Yeah. Like people love Volume 2, maybe not as much as Volume 1, but still it was good. All right, so next we got Avengers: Age of Ultron. Now, Ultron is my favorite villain.
We know where you're ranking
of all time, dude. I would put it in S+ tier if I could, but that is not objectively what it is. So. Whenever I first watched this movie, I actually really didn't like it. I remember being so hyped for this movie, but the first time I watched it, I was kind of underwhelmed. But upon rewatching it over and over again, I do like it. I think it's what do you think? I think it's a good B tier.
I would probably put it A.
You think A?
I would put it A below those two.
Yeah, I could see that as well. Yeah, it didn't introducing Vision. It was important and it has good rewatch appeal.
And where Cap lifts Mjolnir kind of.
A little tease. James Spader as Ultron he did a fantastic job. He kind of introduced the in-game storyline for us as well with Thanos at the end of the movie. So I actually really enjoyed it. Yeah, I think it's an A or B tier, but we'll leave it at A for right now. Next up is Ant-Man. Just the regular one, not Ant-Man and the Wasp.
A funny movie, man. It was kind of like the first. I guess Guardians was really funny, but this was kind of like a comedy movie.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like
as Louis says, he's got the van, dude. He has got the van. I think it was a good movie. It's enjoyable. Good writing, I love Paul Rudd as Scott.
Oh, Paul Rudd's fantastic.
He's a good actor. I do like Paul Rudd.
What are you thinking here? B?
I think it's a good B tier. I think it's on the same likes as Thor and Iron Man. For different reasons, though.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
it's not anything like Thor.
No, not at all.
At all.
Yeah, both of these movies tend to be more serious. All of these movies actually tend to be more serious. This one's just got different reasons for being out there. Comedy. But I still do love the storyline and the way it connects in general to the MCU. Oh, next up.
Oh, this is easy.
Dude, this is an easy S tier. Do we even need to talk about this?
I'd probably put it above.
I think I have to put it above the Avengers too. The way they handled this. Okay, so this was the first movie that had featured all of the Avengers in it, but this was the first one that featured like 20 plus stars.
And you introduced possibly the biggest superhero.
Oh yeah.
Ever.
Exactly.
In this movie.
Exactly, and so like. For me, this movie, I remember being so hyped for this movie, and I was not let down. There was nothing that could have let me down.
That hyped it up everywhere, though. Team Cap, Team Iron Man, that was everywhere.
No, we were hard Team Cap. I love Iron Man, but dude, Team Cap, and the way with Spider-Man, they brought in Spider-Man, Black Panther.
Black Panther too.
Who else did they introduce in this movie? They really gave Wanda a good power boost in this movie as well.
Yeah.
And then they introduced the Sokovia Accords, which would affect the MCU throughout the rest. So it really had some big ramifications. And the way it connected and handled the storyline in general, I think it's an easy.
So Sokovia Accords affected Black Widow, our most recent.
Yeah, exactly.
That wouldn't have happened really if it weren't for that.
Exactly. Yeah, she would have never had to reconnect with her family if it wasn't for the Sokovia Accords. So
and that's affecting the Hawkeye series coming up. So really, the ramifications were huge.
Oh yeah, I mean, and we saw in Infinity War too, whenever War Machine's talking to Thunderbolt Ross, and he's like, "You should arrest these people" or whatever, but. All right, so next, I think this is an easy S tier. I mean, easy. Yeah. Next one up, we have Doctor Strange. I like this movie a lot.
I do too.
It's very enjoyable, good story. I love Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. He does a fantastic job.
And it introduced us to the mystic arts, really.
Yeah, and like the fact that there is a different realm other than the real realm that we see in the MCU. There is more than that, and so I think it has big ramifications on the MCU. And Doctor Strange is going to be a very important character.
Oh, in Phase 4.
In Phase 4, he's going to be a very important character. So I think I give it a good. I don't know if it's A, but I do give it a B.
I'd say B.
I think it's a good B tier. You think it's over any? No, I think it's right. I think it's good right there.
Good spot for it.
Next up, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
It's a good movie.
I love this movie.
Dude, this is probably the hardest I've laughed at any movie in theaters.
Oh, I mean, other than Ragnarok, but yes.
Up until this point.
This movie was fantastic. In the theaters, shoulder to shoulder, packed. They came in with a radio, bumping some music. I love the way the music goes with the storyline of James Gunn movies.
Right.
And we forgot to mention that in the first one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but the way that it goes with the movies with Brandy, Your Fine Girl, and his whole thing with Gamora and like his whole dad issue, I think it just is it's a fantastic movie, and it really sets Star-Lord up in a good position for being one of the more powerful people in the MCU. But eventually, Ego got
and their
killed.
stories, each individual story of each Guardian got developed a lot.
Yeah, and
like Drax got a huge. I mean, he was hilarious.
Yeah, he was. Dude, he's got sensitive nipples though. And then we see the ending with Yondu. It's one of the best endings of any MCU movie, I think, by far. It was emotional, so I think I'm gonna give it.
What did he say? You may not have been my boy, but I was your.
Yeah, he's like, I may not have been your father, but I sure as heck was your daddy, or something like that. I think I'd give it an A, and I'd honestly put it above. I don't know.
I enjoyed it honestly more than the first Guardians.
Yeah, me too. But objectively, which one would be better? I think this one. I think Guardians 1 is objectively
I'd say that's
better.
a good spot for it.
Yeah, I think it's a good spot for it too. Although it hurts me to put Age of Ultron below where it should be, but still.
If Ultron himself was here, he would be at the top of the list.
Next up, we have Yeah, that's true. Next up, we have Spider-Man: Homecoming. Now, this is the worst poster in MCU history.
It looks like a video game.
Iron Man looks like a literal video game cover. Yeah, I think this movie was good. It was a good coming of age story. It gave Peter a good introduction to the MCU for a solo movie. I love what they did. I kind of like what they did with Stark. He learned a lesson from Cap in the first Avengers, and then transferred that lesson about the whole. If you're nothing without a suit, then you shouldn't have it. He transferred that to Spider-Man and kind of gave him a realization that it's the man that makes the suit, not the suit that makes the man. So I did like what they did with this movie. For me, I think I'd put it at B.
I agree. B, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe above Doctor Strange, perhaps.
Yeah, I think it's above Doctor Strange. I really like this movie, and it really didn't. It was kind of its own disconnected story. It really didn't have much ramifications. It tried to be a small story, and I kind of like what they did with that.
It was cool too. Even though it wasn't Iron Man's movie, he kind of matured in it.
Yeah,
to progress
exactly.
as like a father figure.
Exactly. I like what they did with it. And so next up is Thor Ragnarok, The Revengers. I love it. I also love this movie. Let's just give an applause for 2017 being a fantastic year for Marvel movies. We got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man, and Thor Ragnarok all in the same year. So,
and did Black Panther come out that year too?
No, it came out in 2018.
Before. Oh, that's right, February. Wasn't it? February, yeah.
Yeah, so Thor Ragnarok. I love the team up they did in this movie. They explored Hulk a little bit more. They gave him a bit of a more story.
Hulk really, he got more of a storyline almost in this movie than he did in the solo movie.
Yeah, and also I love what they did. They finally put Thor in the power section that he should be in, like most powerful character in the MCU. Finally figuring out that he's not the god of hammers, but he's the god of thunder, and so I love what they did this with this
great movie.
It was funny, great writing, great actors, good storyline in general. So I like what they did with this movie, and it has pretty big ramifications on the MCU. Or that's how Thanos got the Space Stone, was from because Loki took it from Asgard. Otherwise, it would have got destroyed.
So this is almost like Civil War on a lesser scale. I'd say.
It
with the Avengers team up type thing.
Yeah, I agree, and I think I'm gonna put it at A tier, or I'm gonna put it at A tier. You think that?
I'd say very strong A's or low S, dude. Honestly,
yeah, I might could put it at low S tier. I love what they did with Thor. I love what they did with Hulk, introducing Valkyrie and Hela too.
Hela.
People forget about Hela, but she did a great job. I think her name's like Kristen Chenoweth or something like that. The actress, but anyway, she did a fantastic job.
Yeah, Odin died, man. Right?
Yeah,
Doctor Strange was in this movie.
Yeah, Doctor Strange. That was also another big thing. So I love what they did with everything about this movie. I love what they did with it.
You think that's a good spot?
I think low A is a good spot for it.
Low A, low S.
Yeah, low S. My bad. I think low S is a good spot for it. Next up, we have Black Panther. Now this one is very highly reviewed, but fans weren't as big of a fan of it as.
And it was a good movie. I've watched it a couple times since then. But and we did a double feature that day. Was that Black Panther?
No,
that was Bumblebee.
Yeah, that was Bumblebee.
I'm thinking of Black Panther when I got my Xbox taken away.
man wasn't doing well in math class. Yeah, that's probably why I didn't like it so much. Is because it was so late, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like we had to work an auction the next day. Anyway, but. Black Panther. I love Chadwick Boseman. Rip.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
And he did a great job. All the actors did a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Michael B. Jordan did a phenomenal job.
Killmonger. He's widely regarded as one of the best villains in the MCU.
Second best at most people would put him second best. I'd say behind Thanos.
Yeah, I agree. I'd have Zemo up there. I'd have
Zemo too. Yeah.
But and Ultron, of course. But I think this movie. I love the story that it had introducing Wakanda. And Killmonger, I love the story.
It was a world building because around Wakanda, and it was cool to see.
We needed to see Wakanda in the MCU and it was important because of Infinity
the Battle
War.
of Wakanda.
Yeah, so I gotta put it at, what do you think, a B or an A? I don't know. I think I'd give it a B.
I'd say B.
Yeah,
for sure.
Below Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot.
And because all of these are fantastic movies, they just don't have the same appeal that the S and the A do. Next up, Avengers: Infinity War. This is my favorite Marvel movie.
I think this jumps straight to the top of the list easily.
Okay, that's Ant-Man and the Wasp. Okay,
Yeet.
This jumps straight to the top of the list. Not even close. This movie, it's kind of like along the same lines of Civil War, how they took so many characters, but the way they did the story in the Infinity War with the Battle of Wakanda, with the Battle of Titan, Iron Man versus Thanos, I loved everything about this movie.
And we had up to this point? How many movies built up to it? Every other movie on this list so far
had built up to this movie. And I remember when the trailer released and that first scene where you see Thanos step out of the portal and you just see the purple face and it's like you just get chills from it. This movie had been hyped up for I think it was I don't even know how many movies up to this point. But like you said, all of the movies don't.
The arc with Thor, dude.
Yeah, I love what they did with Thor and Stormbreaker. And each kind of group went on their different direction. I hated what they did with Gamora, but I loved it for like I loved what the scene was. Like it was a good scene.
It was sad.
It was a powerful scene.
Yeah, it was moving.
Thanos snaps at the end. First time the heroes actually, I guess, really lose. So it was a different type of movie for that reason. And the way the story was written, the way it handled all the characters, the Russo brothers did a fantastic job with this movie. So it is definitely
top of the list. Right?
Yeah, top of the list for me as well. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
This movie is also funny. It's like the first Ant-Man to me.
Yeah, but it did introduce the quantum realm, so it does have big ramifications for the MCU in general. But what do you think?
I'd say it's a B.
Yeah, I give it a B tier. I give it a B.
Probably below Black Panther. I'd say.
Yeah, it's a good B tier. Ain't much to say about that movie. You know what kind of movie it is. Captain Marvel, automatic D tier. No, I'm just kidding. I wish, but
genuinely, it wasn't a bad
movie. It really
movie.
Wasn't that bad of a movie.
It was good seeing Coulson back.
Yeah, it was good seeing Coulson. We got to see Fury before he got his eye taken out.
Fury was great in that movie, dude. Samuel L.
Yeah, so he was good in that movie. Monica Rambeau ends up being kind of an important character in WandaVision.
Right, yeah.
So it does have pretty decent ramifications on the MCU. I just don't like Captain Marvel.
It was more of like a solo story because it took place in the past. We knew a few characters, but
yeah, I'm just not a big fan of Captain Marvel. But it's really not that bad of a movie.
What do you think? C?
I think it'd get it to C tier.
I'd honestly put it above Hulk probably.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, it's not terrible. It's a good, pretty decent movie, and it's not as important, but it's still important enough to like care about. So then we see Avengers Endgame. This movie was a different level of hype.
Yeah.
Even different from Infinity War. The hype surrounding this movie was just
what was it?
It's just completely different. Everything about it. I've never heard cheers in a movie theater until this movie. Like
dude, when Cap caught Mjolnir, dude.
Oh yes, dude. When Natasha died, man, that was sad.
Brutal.
When Iron Man snapped, when Captain Marvel came in and everybody booed, like it was. Just things about this movie were different, and I think it was. I have some quarrels with this movie. I hate what they did with Fat Thor. I hate what they did with Professor Hulk. But like as an end for Iron Man and Cap's story, I think it couldn't have done a better job. It really tied the bow.
It's hard to live up to that type of hype, and I think it did for the most part.
Yeah, it definitely did. I enjoyed it. What do you think?
I'd put it.
It's definitely S tier.
I'd put it below. I'd put it above Civil War. Honestly.
Yeah. It just the type of movie it is. I still think that Avengers: Infinity War is objectively better than Endgame. Yeah. But these two movies, you can't have them without the other. Exactly. Yeah. So like
the Infinity Saga. Yeah. Top one.
So these two are almost kind of on the same level for different reasons, or they're on the same level.
Endgame is an experience.
Yeah.
It's an experience, and you really have to see all the other movies first to really just feel it.
Yeah, everything about it. And Tony Stark's funeral in that movie too. That was also gut-wrenching. And so finally, or not finally, penultimately, I guess, we have Spider-Man: Far From Home. Last movie of Phase 3, correct? I think they did count it in Phase 3. Yeah,
that was Phase 3.
This one was more of a reminiscent movie about, I guess, Iron Man and Spider-Man finally being able to let go of Iron Man as, a mentor and making his own path and forging his own way.
Yeah.
It was I like the movie. It was a good movie.
It was a good movie. I
like Mysterio in the movie as well. Jake Gyllenhaal did a fantastic job as Mysterio.
It was a good movie. And we thought we might be getting introduced to the multiverse, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, they kind of teased us, but I mean, they did have few plans for it in the future.
In the next Spider-Man movie, probably we'll see the multiverse.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one's a B.
Yeah, I'd say
it's definitely
B.
up there.
I would put it.
I think I'd put it above. I mean, I don't know. No, not like that. Well, I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, but see, honestly, I'd move Homecoming right here.
Yeah, I liked Homecoming more, I'd say.
And then Doctor Strange right here, and then Black Panther right here. That's what I think. But it is a good B movie.
Yeah.
Not like a B movie, but it's a good B tier movie, Marvel movie. And then finally we have Black Widow, the most recent MCU movie. Why we made this tier list. What do you think? I love this movie.
It was a good movie.
The overarching theme is about reconnecting with family. And so she this had an important role to play for her in Infinity War as well. Kind of helping getting the Avengers back together, and then eventually we see her die in Endgame. And probably the saddest death in the MCU.
And it makes this movie even more just eerie kind of.
Yeah, it does. And then the post credit scene with her sister and trying to track down Hawkeye now. It was a good movie. I liked it. All of the actors were good. I liked Red Guardian.
It was a long time coming. Yeah, he was funny.
He was funny. And it was a long time coming. This movie obviously got delayed multiple times because of COVID.
Yeah.
So I think I'd give it a good B.
Yeah, I'd say B for sure.
B, but where at? I think I got it above Black Panther. And honestly, I got it. Where do you think? Right there, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place for it because that's about where it is in the Marvel universe, in my opinion.
Okay, so do you like our B tiers? Really got a lot of movies in it, which is understandable, I'd say, but.
Yeah.
Do you like where we have Thor and Iron Man 3? That's my question.
No, I don't. I don't think that is.
Because we did those first, and now we can kind of rearrange.
Yeah. So now comes the.
I'd move them down some, keep them in B tier.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think is the next best movie after these two? I think, honestly, probably Homecoming in my opinion. I really like.
I like how we have it after that.
Yeah, so maybe Homecoming right there, you think?
I'd say put Homecoming back where it was and move those two back. Move Iron Man 3 behind. Yeah.
Okay, so.
And do it, both Thor. I mean, I like that. Because, I really did like the two Ant-Man movies.
Yeah, I did as well.
They're pretty low on our B tier, but.
Yeah, I liked both of them. I also liked both of the Spider-Mans. I liked Black Panther. I liked Doctor Strange. Each B movie is still, and honestly for Marvel it's an A movie, but it just couldn't quite transcend that line for me anyway.
And I'd probably have Black Panther higher, as I was gonna say earlier, but if it weren't for those memories with my Xbox being taken away right before, dude.
Yeah, honestly, that
was tough.
And F tier.
That was tough, man. Tough time.
All right.
Right before we started that movie at Wendy's, dude.
Yeah.
Never forget it.
It was. We missed our first showing, so we had to go to like this 9:15 show.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It's a good movie.
It was a good movie. I think it's kind of marred by those memories, but still, it is a good movie upon rewatching it. Well, this is our tier list.
I think that's a good list.
I think that is a good list. I think that I'm okay with where we put everything. Now, of course, some of you probably are not going to be like we said at the beginning of the video. If you have a problem with it, leave it in the comments below. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you later.